You're in the zone, the superhero zone. Cue intro. Hello, and welcome to Superheroes 101. My name's Xavier, and I'll be your host. So, welcome to my new Loki, Mischief, and Mayhem series. This series, I will basically be breaking down the events that happened in Loki and how they will correlate to future Marvel events like Multiverse of Madness. And in this episode, which is episode 2 by the way, last week I did a breakdown video of the first Loki episode, so you should go check it out. But in this episode, I'm going to be trying to figure out if Loki is a Nexus level being or not. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. But before we get into the video, if you're interested in my superhero content, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications so that you're notified every time I upload a new video to this channel. And also go follow my Instagram at xavier.lee101 and my TikTok at xavier.lee6 if you want any updates of what I'm going to post and what I'm not going to post and all around cool stuff. So you should really check it out. Without a further ado, let's really get right into the video. So as we know, the Timekeepers are all-powerful beings that keep our sacred timeline Marvel Cinematic Universe in check, so we think, and they're making sure there are no Nexus level events or events when a specific character or person steps out of line of their set time stream and they go off of their life path, so the TVA have to go and retrieve them and reset them while also breaking off that branch timeline, which is kind of weird to me, and we're going to talk more about that in this video. So the Timekeepers, like I said in the first episode of this series, if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. I don't trust them. They're sus to me, and I said they might be Nexus level beings. Now I know they're not, and here's why. Next level beings like the Scarlet Witch can manipulate reality at will and make their own timeline, which is a flick of the wrist. Now, the Timekeepers have to send the Minutemen and have the TVA working for them to try to keep that balance of their sacred timeline intact. Really, if the Timekeepers were Nexus level beings, they wouldn't need the TVA at all. They would just be able to, magic spellcast and manipulate the timeline on their own, but instead they need the TVA to do it. And personally, I think the Timekeepers are just a front, and the TVA are really doing all the work and messing up things and touching things that they're not supposed to. Like, take Loki, for example. Loki took the Tesseract when the Avengers messed up in Avengers Endgame when they were trying to get the Space Stone so they could ultimately defeat Thanos in Endgame. Now, it wasn't Loki's fault that he grabbed the Tesseract. It's Loki. Of course he's going to grab the Tesseract if it's placed right at his feet. But it was the Avengers that knocked it there, and essentially they should have been captured at that point in time. And it doesn't make sense how their set time path was for them to go on a time heist and search for the Infinity Stones. And as we know from Doctor Strange and a bit of Endgame when Hulk went to go visit the Ancient One, when you take an Infinity Stone off its set path in the multiverse, it will create branch realities and start going in chaos. And during the Avengers time heist, Loki escaped with the Space Stone, as we know from the first episode of Loki, and the TVA captured them instead of the Avengers and Thanos later on, because he escaped from his 2013 timeline to go to the Avengers and try to stop them, and obviously that didn't work. But anyways, back to Loki. I don't know why they captured Loki for basically taking the time stone, but really they should know he would do that because he's the god of mischief. Why wouldn't he do that? Why wouldn't he take any excuse necessary for him to escape his basically shackles, so he wouldn't have to go to Asgard and face his parents, and so that he could prove to himself and other people that he is a god and people should worship him. Anyways, now we're getting to the point of this video. I think Loki is a Nexus level being, and the TVA is trying to stop him from claiming his true power. So as I've said in the first episode of this series, I said Scarlet Witch is a Nexus level being, and I thought that the Timekeepers are, but now I know they're not. Anyway, A next level being, like I said before, is a being that can control reality at will and create their own timelines with just a flick of the wrist. I think Loki, when he took the Tesseract in that scene in Endgame, he ultimately was going to become a next level being. And the Timekeepers didn't like that, so they sent the TVA to retrieve him before he claimed his true power. And I use the term Timekeepers very loosely because I think that they are just people behind a curtain like the Wizard of Oz was. I don't think they're real people. For instance, I'm suspecting that judge that tried to send Loki to get reset to his normal timeline. Frankly, he could have became a Nexus level being, to me, if the TVA left that timeline where he escaped alone. Now, that judge is also sus, but we're probably going to see more of her in the second episode, which I'm also reviewing, by the way, so you should check that out on Friday. And also, I think that there are more of these judge-type people that are looking to capture these next-level beings so they can gain full control over the multiverse as a whole, so they don't have to worry about watching these Nexus-level beings do what they were meant to do, if that makes sense. So really, this is just about power and control, like all villains want. Like, for instance, in Multiverse of Madness, I wouldn't be surprised when Wanda is going through the multiverse looking for her children and her husband. I wouldn't be surprised if the TVA shows up trying to stop her from doing it. Because when she does it, she's probably going to realize that she's stronger than she initially thought, and that she's going to have to be in charge of keeping the multiverse together and assigning different Nexus level beings around the multiverse so it doesn't cause another multiversal war. And I don't think that the people behind the mask of the Timekeepers are going to like that very much. So before this event happens, I feel like they're going to try to do everything in their power to try to stop any type of next level being or next level being ally like Doctor Strange from helping them reach their true potential, like when they captured Loki. And here's one more thing I want to know. How are the Timekeepers, or the people working at the TVA hiding behind a curtain assuming the mantle of the Timekeepers, keeping this multiverse in check so that the branch timelines don't happen and a multiversal war doesn't happen again? Because I believe that happened. Which leads into my next point. The Infinity Stones were shown as useless. And as we know, we're probably going to get mentions of the Infinity Stones, but personally I think we're going to get more than that in this series. What I think the Timekeepers or the TVA agents are doing are they're taking people from throughout the multiverse with these Infinity Stones in their hands. They take the people in, strip them of the Infinity Stone, erase them so there's no memory of them, and then they use the Infinity Stones to try to balance this single stream of time. I know that sounds weird, but what other option do we have? I think that they're using those Infinity Stones to keep the time stream in time, and I think those Infinity Stones in the drawer were decoys. And the real ones are with the TVA agents behind the curtain. But tell me what you think down below in the comments. And do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Tell me why in the comments down below. The Timekeepers and the TVA are sus, and more will be revealed in the grand scheme of things. And I still think it's weird how they violate the time by going off on their own way versus the set way that the Timekeepers have for them, even though really everybody should have control over their own destiny, and what the Timekeepers are doing is wrong. And yeah, this was the second episode of my Loki, Mischief, and Mayhem series. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications so that you get notified every time I upload a new video to this very channel. And also make sure you follow my Instagram at xavier.lee101 and my TikTok at xavier.lee6 if you want any posting schedule updates of when I'm going to post or not, and all around cool stuff, so you should go there and check it out. My posting schedule are Mondays, Fridays, sometimes Wednesdays, and yeah, today is the second episode of Loki, so when this video drops, I'm probably already watching the episode. No spoilers in my comment section, and yeah, if you want more content from me, you're gonna have to wait till my next video. Bye, you guys.